And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Orange Blossom Social. I am your humble correspondent, Bobby Randall. Good morning. We're glad everybody's here. All the audience, welcome everybody that's here. Thank you for coming out this morning. I see not one person followed my directions. Not one person brought donuts. Eddie?
No.
What happened?
We don't need no donuts.
Donuts? Donuts what to make the world go round.
Oh.
One of my pals is an ex-police officer. He, of all people, should have been there with me. Anyway, good morning from all of us here. The Apostle Paul is here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Captain Kurt's here. Fast Eddie's here. Mike's here with our roving microphone out in the audience to take care of any questions you may have. We need lots of questions today from our audience watching online. So if you got questions, send them in. We got a way to try to answer your questions today. We'll talk about some of the shows that are coming up, some of the shows that happened. I wanted to share something with all you folks here that work here. I got nobody these days sends a letter. Is it you guys send letters to anybody in the mail anymore? I don't think anybody mails cards anymore, but I guess some folks do, and that's kind of a special thing to me because nowadays everybody just sends a text or something. But Bob Battersby, who was our drummer who filled in and did the Kenny Evans show, the Brooks and Dunn show, took the time, which I thought was awesome, to send a card in the mail. And it's from Cornerstone Fine Music, but he took the time to send a card, and it says, "Bobby and band, thanks for trusting me to come in and do the Kenny Evans show," which was the Brooks and Dunn show, this past Sunday. It was a special treat and an opportunity I don't take lightly. See you again soon. Bob Battersby. What a great guy, huh, Eddie?
Yeah.
What about that?
Super
Taking the
drunk.
time to actually send a real postcard, stamp, mail, old school. How about that? How's it going, Eddie?
Doing good.
Fast Eddie, everybody.
Doing good.
Back there behind the piano. A little later on the show, folks, one of the members of the Orange Blossom Opry Band is here. We're going to get him maybe sing a song for you. It's just part of his parole.
Yeah.
They let him out during the afternoon.
We have to wake them up.
We
It
got questions already.
takes a couple.
This is a great question.
If the question is what happened to my hair, the answer to that is I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Good morning. I wish we could take calls, but we have to do it this way.
Sherry wants to know, how did Fast Eddie get the name Fast Eddie?
So my whole life, I have always been this guy that gave nicknames to people. If you know the name of the piano player in Sawyer Brown, his name is Greg Hubbard. I don't know that he'll tell you this, but I was a guy that first started calling him Hobie, and then it came off of some thing. They used to call me Buffalo as well. So we all did this nickname thing. I have given Paul the nickname of the Apostle Paul. I have given Captain Kurt up there, Captain Kurt, and Fast Eddie. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a new one. Are you ready for this? We don't have a drum roll. But I have a new nickname for our guitar player. So I want you from now on. His name is Dangerous Dave.
Wow.
There you go. And because Dave is dangerous on the guitar. But here's a trivia question for you. You might get it, Chris. Who was another guitar player that's first name was Dangerous? Do you know? Dangerous? Nobody? Going once, going twice? Dangerous Don Rich. That's what Buck called him. Called him Dangerous Don Rich. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it's a website, but there's a thing that I'm on that's called Dangerous Don, and it puts up clips of Don Rich all the time. So that's where Fast Eddie's name came from. I didn't really pull it out. There is a car wash in my hometown called Fast Eddie's, though.
Somebody came to me and said there's a restaurant in Illinois that they're going to go get a T-shirt. It's called Fast Eddie's.
Yeah. And of course, in Detroit, the famous strip club, Fast Eddie's.
Fast Eddie's, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, I like giving guys nicknames. If I like you, I give you a nickname. So everybody gets a nickname. And Mike's our road captain now for our motorcycle thing. I'm not sure about Chris yet. I think I've worked out a few. But anyway, just seems kind of fun. That's all. So let's see. The Garth show. Were any of you folks at the Garth show? It was pretty good, I thought. What's his name? Sean?
Yeah.
He does a good job. He really kind of sounds a little bit like Garth. He got a little bit of Garth stuff on him. And the band was real good. We stuck around and listened to them play. And my wife loves all those Garth Brooks songs. And it's a funny thing. It's kind of memory lane for me. Actually, our bass player used to play with Garth, and Tricia was on that tour, and we were talking about Chris, all the places. One of the things, the coolest thing about this band, we sit backstage, and all of us in this band, we should have everybody on the stage and do this sometime for this show, because we talk about how many places, that we've all played, maybe not together, but at different times. One of the subjects that came up was there's a big honky tonk in Denver. It's called the Grizzly Rose. It's still there. It's been there for I don't know how long. And we were talking about how many of us in the band had played the Grizzly Rose, and when and where, and different stories about it. And Keith was telling me, when I asked him, what kind of places did you guys play with Garth and Tricia? And they were playing not stadiums, but they were playing arenas. And the arenas are usually 20 to 25,000 seats. That's what an arena is. Stadium is 40,000 people. But anyway, and he just happened to mention the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. And I said, well, there you go. I played. It was my first big show that I played with Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. My very first show was at the Tacoma Dome. And it's this big old dome. It's kind of round, and I don't even know if it's the same now, and they may have fixed it or done something. I don't know. It was a long time ago when I was there. But, first night you walk out on stage, and there's 25,000 people out there screaming. It's kind of a overwhelming thing. It's just kind of like, whoa, this is probably same feeling as the first time you were arrested, Eddie.
Yeah.
It's that, that rush you get when you think, oh, my God, and, they put you in cuffs and all that stuff. Same
In front of
sort of
25,000 people.
in front of 25,000. Yeah. Well, listen, Fast Eddie shows up every week with the album of his choice, and what would that be today?
Today is, of course, my all-time. Oh.
So what?
How you and Sandy met. You want to go there first?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, go for it. This ought to be good.
So, how did Sandy and I meet? Well, we played this Billy Dean show. Billy Dean's been a friend of mine for a long time. He was here at the Orange Blossom Opry, and our band backed him. Sandy had never been to the Orange Blossom Opry, ever. And so she came to the Orange Blossom Opry for the first time, and she was walking by right here in the front row after the show. I said, hi. She said, hi, how are you? I said, I'm good. And she has a daughter that's awesome. Her daughter just graduated from, her daughter was with her, Mariah, and she has just graduated from pharmacy school in Belmont in Nashville, is now a pharmacist at St. Thomas Hospital, but she was with her. And she said, hey, you want to go meet Billy Dean? And Sandy said, no, I want to meet that guy. So I said, hi. I said, are you on Facebook? I looked her up on Facebook, and we kind of chummed around a little bit off and on. I had not had a girlfriend for about 2 years. I was just kind of living single and being okay, and then the rest is kind of history. And she's awesome, by the way.
So
Questions are rolling in like crazy.
Come on, just
Bobby, what's your favorite Sawyer Brown song?
Oh.
My favorite Sawyer Brown song, maybe, I don't know, maybe The Race Is On. It was a, you guys got to understand this. Let's see, I can't remember. That must have been like 89, 88, something like that. And when you go to the record label and say, we want to record a George Jones song, that's like, the holy grail of country music. You probably shouldn't do that. Oh, yeah, we're going to do that. Well, you probably shouldn't do that. And it ended up being one of the biggest records we had. And I'd been playing The Races On, since I was a kid. And, try to tell the record label, well, yeah, the crowd likes this, because we used to play it in the bars when we were playing in the bars. So The Races On might be, I got lots of favorite ones, but that's probably one of my favorite ones, I guess. And maybe, of course, maybe Leona. Leona was our first record.
That would have been my pick that you were going to
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Well, Leona was, I can tell you right where I was. Your whole life you battle to try to get a record deal, and, it's just, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, it happens. We're signed to Capitol Records. Our first record's out. And the funniest thing is, my hometown radio station, which I love to death, Jim Kramer was a longtime friend of mine, and they couldn't play local talent. as no radio stations do. Most radio stations, if you call them up and say, hey man, Jim and the boys are tearing it up here at the local honky tonk, they go, we don't care, we're not playing the record. Well, we don't care, we're not playing your record. And all we said was, well, there'll come a time that you will. And I remember I was in Saginaw, Michigan, of all places. Yeah, the first time I heard our record on the radio, and I went, well, there you go. There's some good stuff for you. And then Kramer went on to be a big supporter of Sawyer Brown for many, many years, and a good pal. Yeah. So those are my favorite, I guess. What else? Dead now?
No, there's still a bunch. How long have you known the Goldens?
So the Goldens, I had left Sawyer Brown about 91 or 92. But we played some dates with the Goldens. See, the boys themselves, Chris and Rusty, and a couple of other buddies of mine, Skip Mitchell, Don Breland, God rest their souls, was the band The Goldens. And they had a record deal, and they had records out. So we played dates with them along the way with Sawyer Brown. And I became buddies with them and hung out with them. And Don Breland, the bass player, I had known since before I ever moved to Nashville. I became friends with him some way, just playing dates. My little local band back in Michigan used to open for the Oak Ridge Boys. We had our own band that was, kind of the hot thing in Michigan, and pardon me. So we'd open for all the acts, and I became real good friends with him. And then after Sawyer Brown, when I left there, they were playing at this honky tonk in Hendersonville that everybody plays in, and I went down to see them, and they said, well, there's steel players leaving, and I said, hey man, I just quit Sawyer Brown. I'm not doing anything. And so I went out and started playing with those guys and William Lee, and produced some records on them, produced some stuff on William Lee as well. So I've known those guys. I guess I'd say I've known them since the 80s, but really been friends with them since 90 and on up. The Apostle's out of the seat, so maybe we're out of... Oh, it looks like
No, we're good.
I got him. You're working today, brother. Working for your money today.
Holy cow. Take one day off, and then I got to go running.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is.
Okay, we're trying to fix audio issues.
Oh, okay.
Everything sounds clear on our end. Some of them are having, some are not.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll go into my
Yeah,
album.
let's go, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie, let's go into your favorite all-time album. I didn't mean, that was kind of rude to cut you off.
All right, well, no, that's fine. Of course, this was my all-time favorite show here at the Opry, and it was Mr. Daryl Worley. And there's a little birdie thing that we're trying to get him again this summer, so that's really cool to bring him back. But, man, what a great guy. Real tall dude. Is he taller than you?
No, when Daryl was, I've known Daryl a long time, too. He was working in Nashville, writing songs, trying to get a record deal and stuff, and we used to talk about pants and where you get your pants, because when I was a kid, I had to sew stuff on the bottom of my pants, which was kind of cool because that was in the 60s and the 70s, so I kind of looked like a hippie, because I'd sew these colored stuff around the bottom of my pants. But the main reason was that you couldn't find pants, back then that were long enough. They didn't make 36 length back then. Now they make 40s. I wear like a 38 length pant, and so I wear 34, 38, which are pretty common now, but not then. And so I talked to Worley. We used to laugh about jeans, because if you wear cowboy boots, and I don't know how many people of you know what stacking is. It's a thing that you do with your Wranglers. You stack. If you ever see Neil McCoy, he's the king of stackers. So you get your pant. You know what stacking is. You're a Texas boy. Chris would know what that is. So you get your jeans all real starched, and then you get them real long, and then you put your cowboy boots on, and then from the knee down, they kind of buckle up like this. They kind of stack up in a bunches. It's called stacking. And for me to do that, or Daryl Worley to do that, we need 40s. And Wrangler does make 34 40s occasionally. So. But these days, it's a little easier to find 38s. You can get, or in my case, double extra long. If you get 34s, get XX long. So I got some long breeches there. Anyway, Daryl Worley will be back here. I can't remember the date, but I saw, I think I have, The Boss Will Kill Me. No, I don't know if I have Doug Stone, John Barry, and Wade Hayes, I know are for sure. But I heard Daryl Worley's coming, so what a great guy that dude is, too.
Yeah.
And quite the patriot he is. He's a Awesome guy. Don't ask him his political view if you don't want to know, because he'll tell you. And so, what about that stupid, ridiculous-looking shirt you have on, Eddie?
No, this is no, you can't. This is the.
I like the car though. That's about a 35 something.
It's actually an REO Speedwagon truck. REO came from an old fire truck. It was one of the first fire trucks that, after they got through the steam engine era, when they used to haul fire by horses. REO stands
fire
for,
by horses?
Well, you know, the fire, they pulled them. They pulled the fire trucks
I got you.
way back when. But no, that's where the name come from. It is actually an antique truck. A friend of mine actually had one of those. It was an old fire truck. Ramsey something Olds is what it stands for. I forget what the middle name is, but that's where REO got the name. It's
Gotcha.
actually from a fire truck, an old.
Kinda like
and
Diamond.
it was because it was the Speedwagons, because it was faster than anything they had seen at the time.
I got you.
So
Kind
they,
of like Diamond Rio.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But this really was an old. There's still a bunch of them out there, antique trucks.
Oh, Eddie,
but
for
yeah.
for those of you who don't know, Eddie went to see REO Speedwagon last week for the what? 100 and what?
44th.
No, 44th time.
Yeah.
44th time.
Yeah, that band is really inspiration of the spirit of rock and roll to me. You know, there's they when you write songs like "Roll with the Changes," "Riding the Storm," "I'll Keep Pushing," you know, that's living every moment.
Yep.
You know,
Do you do they have many original members left?
one.
One original member.
yeah.
The lead singer?
Yeah.
Well, that's the best guy to have,
Yeah.
I guess, if you got to have.
Yeah, and he's a super guy.
What about your Daryl Worley album? What songs are on there?
These are the CDs. Daryl actually didn't do vinyl, so it was this was his "Have You Forgotten," of course, CD, which was, you know, huge.
Big
His
record.
biggest hit, I think.
Have You Forgotten?
Yeah.
What a great song that
Yeah.
is. And if you listen to the beginning of that song, where it goes, that's my friend Mike Johnson playing that, and having some fun with that. Let's talk about a couple other shows coming up. We have a special guest this afternoon. At the bottom of the hour, I'm going to talk to the guys from the Boys in the Band, who will be here this weekend. They have an Alabama tribute show coming. And also our very own and very much loved piano player, what is his name, Eddie? Chris Cochran is here. Yeah, Chris is here, and we'll try to get him up and sing a couple songs.
We got to wake him up.
Yeah, wake him up. We'll wake him up. And I told him maybe we'd get some breakfast. Hey, speaking of breakfast, I got to tell you a story. I'm not doing an ad for somebody, but I got to tell you this story because the coolest thing happened with me and Mike and I yesterday. Mike had to take me down to get my car, and I said, let's try out this restaurant I've heard about in Leesburg. And I guess I can tell you the name of it. It's Wolfie's. But anyway, for many, many years, I can't tell you how many, probably at least 20 years, I've always met in the summer, July, August, sometime there. All my relatives live in Utah. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, they all live in Utah. So I go there every year. And so every year I go to 12th and Wall. There's a restaurant there called the Branding Iron. And if you watch Yellowstone, some of the scenes in Yellowstone were shot in the Branding Iron restaurant. They were shooting some of those scenes in Utah before they moved the whole production to Canada, which is another story. But anyway, I went there with my uncle, and I went there for this thing they had called crispy French toast. And if you've never had crispy French toast, it's to die for. And it's simple to make. French toast, they just crush up Frosted Flakes in crumbles like that, and then they dip the stuff in the egg batter, and then they dip it in Frosted Flakes, and they grill it. It's awesome. It's to die for. And I've asked restaurants where I go that I frequent a lot. I go to these restaurants, and I say, hey, you know, there's one here that we go to. I say, hey, man, would you make me this stuff? I'll pay you whatever. Oh, we ain't doing that. So I go in there yesterday for breakfast, and I look at the menu, and it says crispy French toast. And I ask them what it is. She said, well, we can't tell you because it's secret. People try to steal our recipe. I said, well, there's a place in Ogden, Utah that's been doing it for 20 years. And anyway, long story short, they have it there, and it's awesome. So now I'll be there every morning. It's crispy
Hey, Bobby,
French
there's
toast.
also Wolfies in Ocala, so you don't have to drive all the way.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, right
There's
on
the
40.
Wolfies in Ocala?
Yep.
Did you know that, Mike? You didn't? He didn't know.
you got to turn your switch on.
Turn the switch on, Mike.
It's a little slow.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it.
About the 1900 block. Yep,
Wow. Well, I can't do an
East
ad.
40.
Ah, man. I wonder if they have it. If they have it there, I'll be.
It was the same owner, so I'm sure they do.
All right, man.
Now he will be there every morning, because now it's like
yeah.
3 miles from his house.
I'm not going every day. The scale did not like me this morning.
Oh, yeah. We ate, well, let's just say we enjoyed ourselves. Mike and I had some serious breakfast
We
yesterday.
should take the show on the road.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Breakfast show, yeah.
Breakfast show on the road. Yeah, anyway. So, but for those of you, if you're still cooking home, I don't know if anybody does these days, but try that because it's awesome. And it's really good. All right, let's see. I talked to him not yesterday, on Sunday I actually talked to him. T.G. Shepherd will be here, everybody, on April 20th. And what a dude he is, man. He's just a great guy. And he had so many records. You don't realize that till you go to his show, how many songs that he had. And if anybody ever asks me how long I've known T.G. Shepherd, I bought a bus from T.G. Shepherd that Elvis gave him. Now, there's some kind of business transaction I missed because Elvis gave him the bus, and then he sold it to me. But he wasn't kind enough to give it to me. But anyway, that was back in.
Where is that bus?
I sold that bus. Let's see, I'm trying to remember what year I bought it. So I bought that bus in 1981. When Sawyer Brown first started, my dad helped us buy a school bus, and we renovated is the word, renovated that school bus and drove it all around. And what a mistake that was. I don't know how many of you guys remember going to school, and if you ever rode the bus home, you ever sit in the back of the bus? Because it just does this. You can sit in the bus and just hope it went over a bump, because sometimes it'd throw you right up out of your seat in the back. Well, we put the bunks back there in the back, like most people would. You'd be laying in that bunk at night, and they'd go like that. And no kidding, it'd throw you right out of your bunk, bang. And I don't know if you know what happens to your kidneys if you bang them all night like that, but you got to pee a lot. So anyway, we had an old school bus, and then got rid of that. And then when I bought that bus, and let's see, we sold that bus to an Elvis impersonator whose name was Elvis Wade, and he paid out the nose for it because it was Elvis's old bus. The funny thing was I could hardly stand up in that bus. It was an old 4104, real little thing that was just, look it up. They're old-looking GMC things had 2 million miles on it, I think. But anyhow, but TG will be here, and that'll be awesome to see him. He's got great songs. Our band gets to back him. They're all excited about that. And he's just an awesome guy. We lived in the same subdivision back there in Hendersonville when I was a Hendersonville boy.
I have a real cool memorabilia thing that I'm going to have TG signed.
Yeah?
I had no idea. Did you know he sponsored a race car back in the 70s?
Yeah, do you want to know who else sponsored a race car?
Who?
Wow.
Did you really?
Yeah, Sawyer Brown.
Did you have a Matchbox car?
No, but it was T-boned in Talladega, and I can tell you about that story. But yeah, I knew TG did. Here's the thing I bet you all, maybe you didn't know, but everybody knows, that commercial, the best part of waking up
Folgers
is
is
Folgers. He wrote that. And so he had to make.
And that's the car, the Matchbox
Yeah, he
car
had a
I'm going to have signed is the Folgers race car that he sponsored.
He made big bucks doing that.
Wow.
Big money in that sort of stuff. Probably still makes money off of it. I don't know if they still use that thing or not. But yeah, how do you do that? I can write songs.
Yeah.
But he told me that he wrote it in his underwear. Said he got up in the morning, he said he was drinking coffee in his underwear. He'll tell you the best way to drink coffee is in your underwear. Me, not so much these days. Maybe when I was younger, but now I look a lot better with clothes on. But he said he wrote it in his underwear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. How frightening that would be. Thinking of you in your underwear at this point. That my mom used to tell me that. My mom was an entertainer. She was a comedian, and she is. She's still alive. She's 92 years old, and she would tell me when I was a kid about going on stage. She said, Bobby, because my mom was our promoter. I had a band when I started in like 6th grade. So since 6th grade to today, I've done nothing in my whole life but play in a band. Nothing. I had maybe one day job somewhere along the line, but not much. Anyway, she said, well, just go out there and just look at everybody and imagine them in their underwear. She said, that'll make you not be nervous. I said, that make me want to do something else. Let's see, talk about one more show, and I'm going to call this guy, and then we're going to get Chris going. After T.G. Shepherd, the next weekend is the Everly Brothers show. And let me tell you, Eddie, what I like about these guys. First of all, they're great guys. I can't pronounce their names. Apostle, can you? I can't. I don't
have the paper with me.
Yeah,
Zmed.
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 Yeah.
Smed.
Med.
Zmed, like Zamed Brothers.
Yeah, well, those guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's what I like about their show.
Take your meds.
Take your meds. Yeah, I did this
Meds.
morning. I started this morning out like I do every morning, 2 Tylenol, and sometimes a couple of Aleve. Anyway, and I'm not saying anything bad about anybody, but we have lots of tribute shows here, and most of them, pretty much all of them, are really good. But one thing that the Everly Brothers show does that these other guys don't do is they tell you a lot about the Everly Brothers. They tell you about where the songs came from, who wrote the songs, and tell you stories about how they got started. Now, I will say the Nelsons do that a lot, Eddie, because of their dad, of course, being movie star, Rick Nelson. But a lot of the tribute bands just come in and play the music, and that's fine. But that's one of the cool things about the Everly Brothers. You'll learn a lot about the Everly Brothers if you come check out this show, because they tell you a lot about how they got started and their songs, and it's just it's a really cool show. And that is on the 27th of April.
I actually met the Everly Brothers. I was on one of those tiny little 8-passenger shuttle flights, and Don and Phil were sitting right behind me. My parents were really big Everly Brothers, so I got them to sign an autograph.
Yeah.
Wish I had that autograph today.
Yeah, one of those guys lived in Columbia, Tennessee. And I'd seen him around town a couple times, but I never really met the Everly Brothers.
Great harmony.
Oh, well, yeah, that was their thing. And then on May 4th, those knuckleheads we were just talking about earlier will be here, Sawyer Brown guys. I saw them on a bus once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lived with them on a bus for many moons. We did that. Let's see what I have. A couple questions here. I'm getting whacked with.
Tom wants to know, our goofy Tom that's here with the video. He's not here today, but what about the Sawyer Brown bank bus?
So I have one somewhere. So what happened was when Sawyer Brown, when we first got real popular, people would come to Nashville and they started stealing the damn road signs. They'd go out to Sawyer Brown Road, which is what we got where we had the name after. Nobody's named Sawyer Brown. We just named it after road, Sawyer Brown. And they started stealing the signs. So we started making road signs, that were plastic that said Sawyer Brown. And then we had these buses. We had 2 buses that looked alike. Betty and I forgot the other one's name. How about that? Can't remember that. What's my mom's name? All right. Anyway, so we had these 2 buses. So they get this idea, because when you're really popular like that, people will buy anything. I mean, anything. It was crazy. So we make these bank buses.
Eddie raised his hand.
Yeah, Eddie, yeah. Eddie's a prime example. I'm surprised you don't have one, Eddie.
I know. I would have loved to have that. Tom should have gave that to me.
I think there's one around here someplace because somebody gave one to me.
Tom did.
Yeah, Tom gave it to me. But here's the coolest thing. Now listen, all this planning and marketing, right? All this idea, and we're going to make this bank that's long like this. It's going to look exactly like the Sawyer Brown bus. Got our logo. Our logo used to be a lightning bolt, Sawyer Brown. Got that. The same color as the bus's bank bus, piggy bank bus or whatever like that. We get all the buses. There's like thousands of them. And there's no place to put the money in at all. There's no way to put money in that damn thing. And I thought, what? So that's really a collector's item. If you see one of those around sometime, it's a bank.
All right, I just found one on eBay.
Did you?
Yep.
How much is it?
$40.
Wow, no
And
kidding.
there's 2 of them. There's a.
Well, you ask whoever's on eBay where you put the money in because none of them had a place to put money in them.
While they're looking, people are dying to know, and I don't want our fans to die, so we need to help them.
Yeah.
Bobby, will you be singing with Sawyer Brown Band when they come?
Well, I don't know. I don't. Both shows are sold out. I would not want people to buy tickets or come to see the show with that premise. I have gone back and played with them a couple times now. There's a big documentary out that's, I'm all over the documentary, a lot in the first half or 3/4 of the show.
And it was pretty cool, too.
Yeah. Mike came up to the documentary in Nashville. I went up and played with him at the Franklin Theater, which is an old theater, a little bit bigger than this, not much, but a little bit bigger than the here. And anyway, what I was going to say is I saw on Facebook a thing that went by yesterday. The most talked about part of the documentary was a big part of when I was in there, and those people. I had not been back to play with them, so some of those people were going crazy. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Here's what I would say. If they ask me to play, of course I will play. If they don't, I would not ask to. So there's what.
I have a direct message from Lisa. Tell Bobby that Lisa and Dan are not coming if he's not singing.
She's lying.
She's lying. Yeah.
They'll be able to sell those seats for sure.
Yeah. Well, Dan and I are. Isn't Dan going with us out west? Mike?
Yes, he is. Yeah,
Mike.
And if he's really not coming, I'll take those tickets.
And resell them.
Absolutely. Speaking of Sawyer Brown signs, though, somebody near and dear to you is still stealing those, aren't they? I seem to have seen one recently.
Yeah, they.
The road sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably still do. It's crazy, but I mean, I don't.
Would we want to say that he actually stole that, or?
He probably did. I'm sure. Well, they. You know, I don't know how hard they are. I think you need a 9/16 wrench and a ladder.
Roger's pretty tall. Oh, did I say Roger?
Yeah. Yeah. Roger. Anyway, the answer to that question is I don't know. Please do not buy tickets.
To be determined.
Yeah, please don't buy tickets and based on coming to that show thinking I'm going to play with Sawyer Brown.
But they're still going to see you open for them. So
our band will open for Sawyer Brown, yes, and I'll be in that band doing the best I can. We'll hang out. Whether I get up and play with them is to be determined. If those of you who are on their fan page, flood their fan page, because there's a Sawyer Brown fan page. You can go just bomb the hell out of their stage, out of their page if you want.
Everybody type up hashtag we want Bobby. Or we're not coming.
Yeah, hashtag them or something. I don't know. But anyway.
It is good to have him back. It'll be great.
Yeah, I will say this as a little pat on the back. I was pretty influential in making that happen. Roger really wanted to make that happen and asked me to help. And I generally don't have anything to do with the bookings here. I don't book the place. I have nothing to do with it. I just, they book the shows, and they give me the contracts and say, make it happen. And all of us, our team, production team, lights, everybody here, we make it happen. I don't even really make it happen. I just tell people what to do. But I was pretty influential in making that show happen. So they'll be here on May 4th. Let me call this guy real quick from Alabama, and then we'll get Chris going here. I tell you guys this. Why do I need this thing on my phone to code? It's just me that uses my phone. Every time I hang my phone up, I have to go.
You can disable that. We'll show you how to do that.
Oh, yeah. Will you do that?
Yeah, they steal your phone, then they'll have all your...
No, but who's going to steal my phone?
It's not
He
that they're
leaves
going to
it
steal
behind
it
better
so
yet.
everywhere.
Yeah, better yet, where
He
you
literally
leave
leaves
your
it
phone.
behind every day. We have to find it for him.
True.
That's part of the deal here. When
You need your code.
Must
you apply
find
for-
Bobby's phone.
When you apply for a job at the Orange Blossom Opry, it says, can you do this? Can you do that? Can they check all the things? Right at the bottom it says, are you willing and able to look for Bobby's phone on a daily basis? Hello, Michael, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. What's happening?
Fine. You're live on the radio and or TV or Facebook or I don't even know where we are. But it's Bobby from the Orange Blossom Opry, and you boys are headed this way this weekend.
We are. We're going to be there Saturday night, and we're super excited about it. We love coming down there.
Now, I just happened to notice something when I looked at my phone. When it dialed you, it's 10:30 here, but on my phone it says Los Angeles. Are you in Los Angeles?
I'm not. I actually lived in Los Angeles long ago and never changed my number when I moved back to Nashville.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're in Nashville, then it's only 9:30. If you were in Los Angeles, it's like 4:30 in the morning. I was getting you out of bed, but awesome.
It's still yesterday out there.
Well, tell us a little bit about how the Alabama tribute band came together.
So I grew up in Fort Payne, Alabama, home of the legendary supergroup Alabama. had a lot of involvement with the family in the June Jam, which was Alabama's big fundraiser they did every year. And 2019, I thought, we should do a tribute to Alabama here in Fort Payne. So it's going to be a one-time thing as a fundraiser for a local suicide prevention charity.
Yes.
And wildly successful. It sold out very quickly, and much to our surprise, Mr. Randy Owen and Jeff Cook showed up and joined us on stage for the encore at that show, and it's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, awesome, huh? Awesome. Well, you guys do a great job. We have one show here on this Saturday. I don't know. Usually Heather's here. They're out of town. Our bosses are out of town, so we are going to tear this place apart this weekend. Anyway,
I love it.
but I think it's if it's not sold out, it's real close to being sold out.
I believe it is sold out, but
Yeah.
you never know if there's cancellations at the last minute.
Right, and since the bosses aren't here, I'll go out and just sell a bunch of tickets that we don't have, just to make some extra cash. Watch the fun.
Perfect. Sounds great to me.
Listen, we're excited to have you. My exciting moments was, our little band used to open for Alabama in the early days, and Randy and the boys would drag me up on stage every night. I would go back on stage and play a song with them. Do you know what that song might have been?
Oh, gosh.
I do.
It was their closer for a long time, and I played it with them many times. Eddie, you know what?
Yeah.
Music?
No, Eddie.
No.
Eddie.
Taking care of
Yeah,
business.
taking care of business. Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's
was-
awesome.
That was their closer for many years, and I went up there and it was just every night. I never ever, you don't take things like that for granted. Every night I go up on stage with those guys, and Jeff was cool. He'd hand me his guitar, and away we go. And it's just it's awesome. They had awesome music. They're awesome fellas, and I probably knew Jeff the best. Our band then used to play his birthday party. And, he was, all those guys are just wonderful guys. And God bless you for doing what you do to keep their music
sir.
alive. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple days.
Well, thanks so much. We're excited about it. Can't wait to get down there.
All right, buddy. See you, Michael. All right, Michael from The Boys Are Back. Not The Boys Are Back, The Boys in the Band. Speaking of The Boys Are Back, let's get Hammerhead
Come on
up
up
here. Get Chris up here. Everybody, Chris is here trying to work off. Part of his probation was work. Hey, I'm glad you're here. The most difficult thing for me, or one of the difficult things for me to do, is to Eddie, stay up here with me. Is to pick songs for Friday Night Live, and I sometimes keep track of what we played last weekend and the one after that, and try to figure out where we're going. And I thought of a couple songs that I'm going to throw at you this Friday. We used to do the Little River Band song. We hadn't done that in a while. Yeah.
I don't even remember it.
Oh, we'll do that one though. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. Wasn't that what that was?
Oh, no.
Yeah. What you guys don't realize, and I will say this in front of him, is I don't take it for granted, but I forget what an awesome piano player this guy is, because he's awesome, plays so good in the band, and
Thank you.
it's just. As a matter of fact, I'm going to yell at Nathan because one of your parts was not in the mix loud enough for me. So I'm with Nathan. There's a piano part there that's not there. What do you want to play for us?
How about some Phil Vassar?
Do it.
A kid screaming, a phone ringing, dog barking at the mailman, bringing that stack of bills overdue. Good morning, baby, how are you? I got a half hour, a quick shower, take a drink of milk, but the milk's gone sour, and my funny face makes you laugh. Put the lid on and I put it back. Well, there goes the washing machine. Baby, don't kick it, promise I'll fix it. Long about a million other things. Well, it's okay. It's so nice Just another day in paradise. Well, there's no place that I'd rather be. It's two hearts, one dream. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I ask the Lord every night for, oh, just another day in paradise. It's Friday, you're late. I guess we'll never make our dinner date at the restaurant. You start to cry. I guess we'll just have to improvise. Well, plan B, it looks like a Domino's pizza and a candlelight. Then we tippy-toe to a room, make a little love that's overdue. Well, somebody had a bad dream. Mama and Daddy, give me my teddy. Can we sleep in between? Well, it's okay. It's so nice. Just another day in paradise. Well, there's no place that I'd rather be. It's two hearts, one dream. I wouldn't trade it for anything. That I ask the Lord every night for, oh, just another day in paradise. It's okay, it's so nice. Just another day in paradise. Well, there's no place that I'd rather be. It's two hearts, one dream. I wouldn't trade it for anything. That I ask the Lord every night for, oh, just another day in paradise. Just another day in paradise.
Yeah.
There you go.
Attaboy. Attaboy. I used to go listen to Phil Vassar. He played at Old Hickory Boulevard, and I'm trying to remember the name of the club. Anyway, he used to play down there. That's what he did. He'd write songs during the day, and then he'd play there on whenever, Thursday, Friday, or weekends or stuff like that. We used to go see him play. Awesome guy. So, Chris, let's talk about a couple things. I know for those of you who don't know, he played for our buddy Ty Herndon is actually going to be not too far from here this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Him and somebody else.
Craig Morgan.
Oh man, I love those guys. Where are they playing?
It's called the Roundup. I don't know what town it's. It's Brooksville. You're
Yeah.
right.
What night?
It's Friday night.
Let's blow this place. No, we can't do that. All right.
You want to?
Yeah, y'all want to? Yeah. Well, Ty was, my connection with Ty is I was on this show called Star Search, and our band won Star Search the very first year Star Search came out, which was 1984. Ty Herndon won the male vocalist in 1985, Star Search, and so we're Star Search alumni, and I've known that rascal a long time, and what a great singer he is.
Maybe we can get him to stop by here Friday night.
I got his phone number. You want to call him?
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I dare you.
No. Hey, what is it? It's only 9:30 in Nashville, or 9:45 or 43. 10:43 here in Ocala, Florida. If you're watching. Also tomorrow. Are we riding tomorrow, Mike? We are. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock. If you got a Harley and you want to ride with us, be here tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be pulling out of the parking lot. We're going to the Rusty Pelican? Rusty Funky Pelican tomorrow over at Flagler Beach. And I called Dr. Carl Bennett, because he lives over there. And I asked him if he could meet us for lunch, but no go. Yeah, he's working. Let's see. Did you watch the Garth show?
I stayed for about 3 songs.
Yeah.
He's good.
The guys. That boy good. So tell us about your, because we've all played, I tell guys this all the time, all of us have played in bands in different levels of band. But you played in Ricochet for a little while,
I
right?
did, about a year.
How was that? Heath's a great guy.
He was a great guy. It
Yeah.
was a bad period in my life, but so I wish I could tell you it was a great time, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, though.
But I'll tell you, that 90 minutes we were on stage was with Heath Wright was some of the greatest times of my life.
Well, he was, I don't know what all went on, but he was one of the flag wavers for you because he was one of the guys
Yep.
I called. When we needed a piano player that sings, so I started calling all my buddies. I called T.G. Shepherd. I called everybody that I knew that had a piano player in their band that sang. So I was just bombing around, calling different people. And somehow I'm friends with Heath. I hit on him. And then, I had known Ty, and he said, well, call Ty. So Heath Wright and Ty Herndon both are kind of responsible for getting you
absolutely.
in the position here. We're trying to get Heath to come here. It's a little bit of a scheduling thing. Florida's a little bit out of that. Where we are is a little out of the mainstream for guys bombing around Nashville and central area.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we have a question from Lauren Nichols on YouTube.
From who?
Lauren Nichols.
Sure.
Well, it's a two-parter. The first question is, can an old man with a gold wing trike ride with you?
Of course.
And the second part is, how long do the guys ride? It sounds like fun. I love the band. It is so much improved from a few years ago. It just don't get any better.
Well, thank you. So yes, you can ride, but Eddie is here to attest that all the Harley riders ride up front, and then the Honda guys ride in the back, right, Eddie? Actually, we let you ride in the middle. Sure. Now turn your mic on, Eddie.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, you got a big old George Jetson-looking bike, right?
Yeah, I got a good old
What is it?
Gullwing. It's a 2008 Gullwing 1800. She'll get down the road.
Yeah, well, it looks like a George Jetson vehicle.
Comfortable, though.
Is it?
Comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's all about the music with me.
Oh, you
Your nickname, Music Man,
Yeah.
is exactly my nickname.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, it is. If you look at my Facebook page, that's what I'm all about is music. Music's in my DNA.
Can I tell you something about my bike? I can't even tell you how many Harleys I've had. I can't even remember. Up until a couple months ago, I had two. I have never turned the radio on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
I ride all the way across the United States.
I have to have tunes everywhere I do. If you ever see me here during the day,
Yeah.
there's music.
Well, no,
Kurt
I do
knows.
that. I do that. Like they run them around the barn and out in the barn and yard
I'm pulling
working.
weeds, there's music.
Yeah, I got that. But on my motorcycle, I like it just to be nothing, to be quiet, and I just kind of take these strange trips in my brain. Now we're getting close to the top of the hour, which means it's getting time to get out of here. Let me tell you about a couple other shows that are coming up, and then we'll get another song out of Christopher over there. Did your parents call you Christopher when you were in trouble?
Yeah.
They did.
James Christopher.
Yeah. Your first name's James.
James Christopher. That was my mama's name for me. Whenever
Yeah, me too.
came home late or
Yeah.
whatever.
When my dad was PO'd, and you know what that means, right? The last word's off. At me for whatever it was Robert. I don't let people call me Bob because that was my dad's name, and the truth of the matter is I will never be half the man my father was, so you cannot call me Bob. If someone calls me Bob, I correct them immediately.
I've heard
Do not,
it.
yeah, don't call me Bob, man. You can call me anything, but don't call me Bob, and that's out of respect for my father. But when my father called me Robert, I knew, like James Christopher, your tail goes right between your legs, and you just know that you know what's going to hit the fan. Okay, quickly coming after Sawyer Brown, the Lovin' Spoonful will be here, y'all. They're great. They are awesome, and they always pack out the place. We have a new thing coming, Seals and Crofts, which is Brady Seals. Our bass player played in a band with him a couple times. He's been in a bunch of bands. And my buddy George Trillinger will be here. He called me the other day. And you know the coolest thing, Eddie, about George? He called me up, and I said, well, why, George, what's going on? He said, you know what? I just called to say hello.
Do you know, when I was in hospital with pneumonia, George called me almost every day. He wanted to bring me up a sub because he knew the hospital food wasn't. And I love you, George.
Yeah, George Trillinger is probably Mr. Show Business, wouldn't you say? I mean, this guy's been doing it. He lived in Vegas, and he was part of one of the biggest shows out there, the Legends thing. And, you know, sometimes I poke fun at those guys, those tribute guys, because I think, whatever. But let me tell you something. That's not an easy job to do.
He's
to
a
be
real
one.
deal.
I can't imagine being anybody. I don't know if I could, who I could be.
Like Oreo Speedwagon, there's certain artists that you can never get enough of. At least I'm that way. They inspire me. But George, I could see his show twice a week and love every minute of it.
Well, he's funny, and he doesn't. He's got his points. What do you call it? PowerPoints. You know he's going to sing this song. You know he's going to sing that song. You know he's going to do this. You know he's going to do that. But you don't know what the hell he's going to do in between those songs.
That's right.
Or what the hell he's going to say, because he's liable to just. And
He's a pro.
And what I can't. I wish I could remember what it was. Dadgummit. He because I know some of his jokes because I've done his shows. But he hit some new joke that I hadn't heard before, and I about fell out. And he just looked over at me and winked. Give me that wink. And it was like, I wish I could remember what he said, but man, it was. That's George Trillinger. He just, you don't know what's going to come out of that guy's mouth. But what an awesome human being on top of everything else he
Great
is.
guy.
I mean, I love his show, and they're going to do a great show. He and Tim probably do the best Blues Brothers of anybody. I mean, they're awesome. They do. We had anyway. I don't want to get into that. They're awesome. Their Blues Brothers show is awesome. But the best part of George being here in the show for me is just hanging out all day with him. Just a wonderful, wonderful man. Unlike having to put up with you. All right, what else you got? You guys want a request for Chris? Give Chris a request. Yeah, give him something really hard. Yeah. We'll take a.
I got one, but he won't play mine.
What's
Go
yours?
ahead. No. Go ahead. Let the audience do it.
All right, audience, go ahead. Do you have something you want to hear Chris play?
Oh, how great thou art.
Why not?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, thy God. When I'm in awesome wonder, consider all the world thy hands have made. It's a little early in the morning. I see the stars. I hear the rolling thunder. Thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. How great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. How great thou art.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
I mean, that was really good, but you haven't heard anything till you heard Eddie rip that one off.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eddie. Give us
Yeah.
just a chorus.
No.
What's your song for Chris?
Mine was going to be Beth by Kiss, but you were going to have to do the piano part, and I can sing that. Someday we're going to do that on Jam Night. We'll do
No.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
you can do it. Chris can play anything on the piano. He can do that.
he's awesome. Now you singing though, we could talk about that.
No,
No,
it's probably better left on the side. Yeah.
Well,
Someday I'm gonna surprise you with some of these on Jam Night. We'll get into it.
Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't have been more surprised if I woke up with my head sewn to the floor when you showed up with that damn helmet and that guitar, whatever that was.
Mirror ball helmet. That's
Mirror
Heather.
ball
That was
helmet.
Heather's doing.
Mirror ball helmet, mirror ball guitar.
No, that was mine. I had to buy that guitar because I knew that was just gonna.
Yeah.
stir all kind of stuff up.
You guys
Yeah.
can't see it, but our viewers can see the picture of Eddie with his guitar and helmet.
Oh, yeah, I can
that's
see that.
legendary.
There he is right there.
Yeah,
Look at that.
that's a rock star right there. If you ever seen one, I had Kurt's glasses on there too. That was cool.
Yeah, now sometimes when you look at a picture like that, you go, what do you suppose was going through his mind? What the hell was he thinking?
Rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll, baby.
That's a glitter rock right there. Glamour rock.
He's our rock man. So let me share this with you, Chris. You know, we as an opening act try to, here's a big word, metamorphosize, which this band is very good at doing, to play music so it's not too different from the act when we open for. I would say predominantly when I put the band together, when we all talked about this, we probably try to stay closest to 90s country. That's where my wheelhouse is. We kind of stay in that vein. But when there's someone else playing, we have to change a little bit. And so like, you know, Carole King, we have a Carole King tapestry tribute coming. I guess we could figure out what we'll play for that. The Irish Rovers and Van Morrison tribute coming. Forever Simon and Garfunkel are coming. Do you guys know that Paul Simon wrote Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is an awesome song. Of course, he wrote all their songs. But the most awesome thing about that is he wrote it when he was 21 years old. Bridge Over Troubled. I can't imagine writing Bridge Over Troubled Water. Then our John Denver tribute, which is Dr. Carl Bennett. Lovin' Spoonfuls, yeah, I told you that. Carole King. That takes us up to June 29th. And on what day we leaving, Mike? June what?
30th.
On June 30th, June 30th, me and the boys, a bunch of us are headed to out west this summer again. Eddie, you got to make one of those trips with us.
I really want to next year. I'm hoping next year.
Yeah, man, because it's a lot of fun. We're going to go to Denver, and then we're going to go to Ouray, which is awesome town. And we'll go down to Moab, Utah. We're going to spend a couple days at Arches National Park, stay down there. And I don't know where else we're going, somewhere else all along. The $1 Million Highway, which is, we can't talk about that on the air. Yeah, it's a nice scenic road with shoulders about that big. So anyway, we can't discuss that, so we don't, because it'll be fun. Let's see. I don't know. We got. Can we just have Chris take us out with a song today? That'd be kind of cool, right? Everybody good with that? How about a request?
Yeah.
Stranger
in
my house. Stranger in my house.
That's kind of a tough one. Well, you know what? Since it's Mike.
All right, we're signing off too with Chris. He's going to be out because we're going to be out. God bless you all, everybody. Thank you all for joining us here at the Orange Blossom Social. God bless you, and God bless the United States. USA! USA!
There's a silence here between us
Yeah.
I never felt before. I can't find the love in your eyes anymore. There's some changes going on. I'm beginning to understand. Is she holding him in her mind while she's lying here in my bed? There's a stranger in my house. Somebody here I can't see. There's a stranger in my house. Somebody here trying to take her away from me. She's just staring out the window, 1,000,000 miles away. When I ask if she's alright, she never has too much to say. Is it somebody we both know? Oh, somebody she just met. She holding him in her mind while she's lying here in my bed. There's a stranger at my house. Somebody here that I can't see. Stranger at my house.